What's good, my beautiful YouTube family? It's your boy P.B.G.Q Supreme TV, and I'm back with some more fire ass content for your mother. You already know how we do it. Today we're gonna talk about some things that you for sure to notice being a physically attractive young man. And I'm pretty sure that the beautiful women and the physically attractive young ladies, they can attest to this too, but that's neither here or there. We're gonna talk about some things that you for sure to notice being a physically attractive young man that they didn't tell us, but that you surely find out real soon. First thing that you're gonna notice, and I feel like you only notice this if you literally, or if you're attractive as a man, you know what I mean? Let's jump off with number one, right? So the first thing that you're for sure to notice being a physically attractive young man, especially in today's modern day and time, is the power and the valuability that being physically attractive actually possesses and holds on the negative side of the spectrum and the positive side of the spectrum, as far as experiences and things like that. You're gonna notice that. And you also gonna notice how globally, how in high regards, respected, desired, and sought after that shit is globally across both genders. You know what I mean? And basically what I mean is, like, so with the power and the valuability of it, right? You're gonna notice that on both sides of the spectrum, right? In negative experiences and positive experiences. Positive experiences, we all see in that today, right? I feel like as humans, we've all collectively came together and jumped over this hoop as far as looks don't matter. You feel me? We finally put that shit to rest where it belongs, right? Because it's been capped since day one. You feel me? And the only people that's been knowing it's been capped is us physically attractive individuals. You feel me? And like I said, I'm pretty sure that beautiful women and physically attractive women can attest to this shit too. You feel me? But that's neither here or there. You feel me? Because we men over here, so that's all it is. But I will say this: we experience parallel universes. I swear, everything that attractive men experience, attractive women experience, vice versa. You know what I mean? From jealousy to envy to praises to gazes to all of that. You know what I mean? We experience the same shit. You feel me? But that's besides the point. So when you're a physically attractive young man, what you're gonna notice, especially in today's modern time, like I said, is the power and the valuability that being physically attractive actually holds. You feel me? With negative experiences, we're gonna take over the bad first. Jealousy, envy, how you see the hate, you know what I mean? Like how, like the unnecessary hate, you know what I mean? Like that shit is crazy, you know what I mean? Like in the dislike for just off your appearance, just how you was born. You feel me? You see the power and the valuability of it, because if people didn't think it was anything to be like desired, or it didn't have any, it didn't hold any like value, like any valuability or any like power or anything like that, then people wouldn't be affected by it. You feel me? So that's on the negative side of the spectrum. You gonna realize that. On the positive side, I mean, it's preachers to the choir. Y'all know. You know what I mean? The praises, the gazes, you know what I mean? All the positive things that come with it, you know what I mean? The women, you know, just life, you know what I mean? In certain scenarios and with certain individuals, being a physically attractive individual is fire. You feel me? It can open you up to a bunch of shit, you know what I mean? Positively, you know what I mean? Negatively too, you know what I mean? But just you being physically attractive, you see how valuable and how powerful that it really is. As far as even being able to walk in anywhere you go around the world, you immediately control the whole like environment. You know what I mean? With making motherfuckers gaze at you, stare at you, you control the whole room. It's like being an actor in theater, like in the center stage. You know what I mean? They call it the main character syndrome for a reason. You feel me? Like that's what it is. That's power within itself. You walk into any environment and you control that. That's power. You know what I mean? That's valuability. You know what I mean? And like I said, you're gonna notice both sides of the spectrum. You're gonna see how powerful and how valuable it is off of the positive experiences that you experience and the negative. You know what I mean? And globally, you're also gonna notice that it's not only women that care about looks and things like that and understand the valuability and the importance of it. Niggas do too. And I even jump out even farther on the leash and say that niggas care more than women. Yeah, I will. And I say that because the way that they act, you feel me? The treatment that you, being a physically attractive young man, has experienced, and I know you have. Just the emotions that it bring out of your so-called masculine men, you know what I mean? Because we hold that title being men, you know what I'm saying? And that also shows power and valuability too. Like, that's power, man. Like, to be able to strip your quote-unquote masculine, you know what I mean, being down and make them emotional just off your appearance, how you was born, that's power. You know what I mean? You see how highly is especially in 2025 and in 2026, you see how valuable it is. You know what I mean? Look at the look maxing community. Everybody's trying to glow up. Everybody's trying to self-improve. You hear about looks and physical attractiveness all the time. It's the talk of the town, literally. You always hear that, you know what I mean? And I feel like that women are, now that women have been exposed, you know what I mean? And like I said, the only people that's been knowing since day one women been lying about looks and things like that is physically attractive people, you know what I mean? Like men. I feel like we've been knowing this shit. Everybody else just now catching up is good, but we've been knowing that shit was cap. You know what I mean? We've been knowing women care about looks and things like that. I feel like the rest of the men in the world and in the population is finally starting to catch up. You know what I mean? And thus we have look maxing, glowing up, all that shit like that. You know what I mean? Look maxing, and they be going out. You know what I mean? They be doing some crazy shit. But hey, get it how you live. I'm not here to judge. You feel me? I'm not God. So I feel like just that within itself, man, like being physically attractive, bro, you honestly get to see like how powerful it is. And even though you might have been physically attractive like in the beginning, like me, you know what I mean? Like you might have been born that way, but I feel like you really get to experience that shit in now day, you know what I mean? Like in modern day, you know what I mean? Because now everybody's on the same thing, you feel me? So now you get to actually see how this shit is playing out and how valuable and how much motherfuckers really care about your appearance. You know what I mean? Like I said, on both sides of the spectrum, gang. Off the negative treatments and off the positive treatments. Positive treatment, that's preach to the choir. You already know why they like that. But negative side, if it didn't have effect of power or anything like that, and it wasn't something that was highly desired, motherfuckers wouldn't treat you the way that they would. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers wouldn't be salty and in their feelings and sensitive and emotional just because you physically attractive. And we talking about off rip, not even meeting you. You know what I mean? Not even knowing you like that. Just the false perception that they develop in their head naturally. You feel me? Because you want to know what else is naturally that we also form in our head? Whether it's a motherfucker's physically attractive or not. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, you're going to definitely notice that, man. Especially in today's time, man. You're going to notice how powerful and how valuable being physically attractive is. Because everybody's trying to ride that wave right now. And unfortunately, some people are glowing up. And some people have already naturally been born that way. You feel me? So, I mean, that's a big one. You know what I mean? And I feel like if you're truly a physically attractive young man, whether you glowing up or whether you been that way, you know what I'm saying, off rip, you're experiencing it now. You know what I mean? That shit just wild to me. You feel me? Because I remember that motherfuckers used to be like, looks don't matter and things like that. Listen, when it comes to attributes in a human, I feel like looks trumps everything, even money. Because you look at it like this: what rich people do, they go try to enhance their looks with plastic surgery and shit like that if they ain't naturally got it. For why? To please women. And you also got to remember that too, gang. You got to know, bro, under serving the Lord, our main thing under populating this earth is for the opposite sex attraction. I promise you, gang. Everything a man do is to please a woman, vice versa. You feel me? And I don't give a damn how much money you got. You can't unlame a motherfucker. You know what I mean? You can't. Listen, you can have all the money. You can have a mouthpiece. You can have anything like that. If you lame, women will not talk to you. If you physically attractive as a man and you lame, somehow you still gonna get ass. You feel me? Like, it trumps everything, gang. I'm telling you, bro. When you're physically attractive, bro, as far as a man to women, like attraction and interest, gang, there's nothing else trumping physical appearance, bro. Nothing else. I promise you. Money, status, mouthpiece, swag, none of that shit. It don't matter, bro. Because a ugly motherfucker that got status, ignored. A rich motherfucker that's ugly, ignored. A ugly motherfucker that in swag that's dripped out, ignored. And when you rewrap it around, a physically attractive person that's broke, hoes. No drip, hoes. No mouthpiece, hoes. Broke as hell. I think I said that before, but it's good enough to repeat it again so you can really understand what I'm saying. Hoes. It trumps everything, gang. Supreme. I know y'all probably like, how does that correlate? Give us some examples. Gang, I thought you never asked. You know what I mean? Check this out. Valuability and power. You can tell that by how motherfuckers downplay and try to mishand you. You know what I mean? When you're physically attractive. If you ain't had no power, it wasn't valuable. What's the need to try to tear you down or put you in your place or humble you? You know what I mean? If you're physically attractive, y'all know motherfuckers will try to humble you. And you could be the coolest person in the world, but off rip, first thing they're gonna try to do is humble your ass, to put you in placement. Why? Because they already know that that's valuable and it's powerful. You know what I mean? So that's why motherfuckers do that. You know what I mean? Underhand compliments. All the negative backlash when you're physically attractive shows the power and the valuability that being physically attractive actually possesses. It being the talk of the topic. You know what I mean? What the fuck we talking about? Something that ain't important. You know what I mean? That shows you right there. Everybody in the world talking about looks and attractive and glowing. Everywhere I go, I hear about that shit. You feel me? It's everywhere. You know what I mean? It's like one of the biggest like search things right now. You know what I mean? Look maxing, they jumping off the fucking wall. You know what I mean? But I'm not judging. I'm not God. You feel me? But that and it's just the talk of the town. You know what I mean? Your physical appearance and everything about that it's on both sides. You know what I mean? You're starting to hear dudes starting to get more involved with it, as well as women globally. You know what I mean? People are starting to care about your appearance. You know what I mean? And to be honest, to me, it's always been there. You know what I mean? If you're a physically attractive born person like I am, then you right with me, gang. We've been doing this shit. We just been sitting back and waiting for this day to where this shit was finally addressed. You know what I mean? And laid to rest where the shit deserves. Because to me, it was always a straight sheet of shit in the beginning, bro. Looks trumps everything, bro. Fuck what people saying, bro. I promise you, it does. It trumps everything, bro. Is it everything? No, it's not everything, bro. But I'm not gonna be one of them people, bro, that sit and bite the bullet and sit here and say some dumb shit like, oh, bro, it ain't everything, but it's like bleach. It's 99.9% of shit, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's up there, bro. It ain't nothing fucking with it as far as attributes when it comes to a human being. You know what I mean? On both sides, for both genders. You see that today everywhere. Like I said, the discrediting, the downplays, you feel me? The treatments, like I said, we already talked about that, positive and negative. The unconsciously deemed in supreme. What I mean by that? Like, when people see a physically attractive person, what do? They automatically deem them as superior, whether they like them or they don't. You know what I mean? Because what's the first thing they start thinking about? Oh, you think he better than everybody? You ain't never said that. That's their thought process. Oh, he's cocky, or he's just like that. You may be the humblest person in the world. See, all the things that ties in with coming with being just physically attractive, it's automatically, unconsciously deemed supreme. Whether you a legit person, or if you a hater. Especially if you a hater. You know what I mean? People are going to give you clarity if you just sit back. And what's the first thing we know how to do naturally as human beings? Anything that's perfect, naturally we're going to try to tear it apart. I'm not going to say we. You know what I mean? But naturally, that's like what humans do. You feel me? Anything that's like perfect, look at God's creation. Anything that's perfect, motherfuckers gonna try to tear it apart and try to tell you what it is and tell you what it. That's what we do as humans. You feel me? That's what we do. You know what I mean? We programmed to do that shit. Anything that's perfect, we're gonna try to tear it and destroy it. You feel me? Not me, and not some of y'all, but y'all know what I'm talking about. You feel me? It's like a natural, like, human, like, type shit to do. The unconscious, like, supreme, like that shit be wilding me, bro, because like that shit crazy, gang. Like, motherfuckers already put you on a high pedestal unconsciously, whether they like or dislike your ass. Unconsciously, if you're physically attractive. You know what I mean? They think that everything is made and mapped out for you. That's why motherfuckers don't like to give you your credit. And they like to think that your looks is the only thing that God bless you with. You feel me? That's how you know how superior being physically attractive is, gang. Because you having that one thing strips everything else that God could possibly bless you with in their mind. You know what I mean? Which is crazy as hell if you think about it. Because that's limiting God. And where they did it at. You're going to notice how valuable, powerful being physically attractive is. And how not only women care about that shit, but men do too. And I'm here to say, I jump out, like I said, I jump out on a lift and say that niggas care about that shit more than women. Look how they act. Look at how they act. Look at the treatments that niggas do. You're supposed to be masculine and things like that. But you dislike somebody because the way that they was born? That's crazy, gang. Mr. Masculine, right? Right. Nah, ain't nothing masculine about that, gang. I'm just being real. Look at the treatment. Proof's in the pudding. If it wasn't valuable, it wasn't sought after, it wasn't something that was highly desired, motherfuckers wouldn't hate. Motherfuckers wouldn't feel some type of way. Motherfuckers wouldn't be emotional and sensitive. You know what I mean? Especially when they don't even know you and you ain't even got the chance to introduce yourself or hang around. This is unconsciously self-perceived in their head. That's power right there. You have the ability not only to control shit, you enter an environment, but also fuck up a nigga mindset too and make them think some dumbass shit that they have no logics towards. You know what I mean? Another one that you're going to notice being a physically attractive young man is how different the male and female gaze is, gang. No cap. You know what I mean? You notice being physically attractive that women don't give a damn about muscles, big ass, scruffy ass birds. That's a male gaze. You feel me? Big Arnold Schwarzenegger, they don't care about that. As long as you got a little bit of build on you, you got masculine features, and high cheekbones, angled jawline, everything like that, women gonna fuck with you. You feel me? And I jump out on another note and say this. Women actually like more feminine looking dudes. Real talk. How do I know that? Look at me, gang. I'm not feminine at all in heart. You know what I mean? I'm probably as masculine. Listen, from my mouth to God's ears, you know how many women come across me, they say, I pick up a masculine aura from you. I done had plenty of women say that. So if you saw me just walking down the street, look at me, bro. I barely got chin hair. You know what I mean? My face is smooth. I got thick eyebrows, thick eyelashes. You know what I mean? I look just like my mama. Like I say, bro, genetically, physically attractive men, we look like our mamas. You know what I'm saying? We favor after our mamas. You know what I mean? So, I mean, come on. Women actually be fucking with model type archetypes. You feel me? Versus your, I don't know, UFC fighter built as motherfuckers. You know, Brock Lesnar, like wrestling built motherfuckers. If you put them two in a room with a logically real, like, woman that's gonna keep it real and not be on that cap and shit, the pretty boy, the model, he leaving every single time, gang. Every single time. And I can attest that by myself, gang. The most women that I pull are what we would deem as your tomboys and things like that and shit like that, and hood bitches and shit like that. Those are the type of women I pull majority of the time. You know what I mean? I really don't pull like the girly girls and shit like that. I pull all of them, to be honest, but the most is tomboys and things like that. Like the rough, tough house girl, they still fuck with the pretty boys and things like that. You know what I mean? That's crazy. You start realizing that too, how the male gaze and the female gaze is complete fucking different, gang. That shit different. And you experience that shit too, gang. Because like I said, with archetype of women that I pull and I talk to, they be your rough houses. You feel me? This is another big thing that you're going to be able to notice being a physically attractive young man. Because a big thing that you're going to notice being a physically attractive young man and a true physically attractive young man is that you're going to notice that the more actually good looking you are and physically attractive you are, the more hate, the more humbled you're going to be approached with. Like, motherfuckers going to be trying to humble you. The more disrespect, the more misleading, the more discrediting, the more shit talking, all of that. The more physically attractive you are, the more you're going to experience that shit. The more unattractive you are, the more support you're going to get. Swear to God, I can't make this up. And to be honest, man, this is not really on our account. This is for the women out there. Because women do this shit mainly. I thought that as mankind, we finally came together in agreement that looks actually do matter. But lo and behold, the is yet again introduced. You know what I mean? So yeah, when you actually physically attractive, oh man, they're gonna tell you a new one. In the world, and especially on social media, when you're actually physically attractive, naturally, oh man, motherfuckers gonna tear you down. They're gonna try to humble you. They're gonna have a lot of shit to say. But the more less attractive you are and the more unattractive you are, support, understanding, praise, you know what I mean? All of that. Motherfuckers gonna talk you up like you just won $1 million. You know what I mean? Like you just cured world hunger. You know what I mean? Like you just found the cure for cancer. You know what I mean? The more unattractive you are, the more support you'll receive. And the more actually physically attractive you are, the more hate you're gonna receive. The more motherfuckers gonna try to put you down. You feel me? You'll notice that too. And you really notice that being a male with women. Yes, man. You feel me? Because y'all do that shit most. You know what I mean? Y'all be giving praises to women that be a 3. Every woman in the world is a bad bitch. I do not fucking understand that shit. And I don't agree with it. You know what I mean? I have been with plenty of women that will walk past another woman and talk about how beautiful she is. I be having to make sure that we looking at the same person. I'm not a mean person. I'm not anything like that, bro. But I mean, not also dry ass lying either. Because lying that's a sin. I'm not in the game of telling dry ass lies. I already got enough lies to tell God when I die. I mean, if she's physically attractive, okay. Women seem to have that. Every woman in the world believes they a bad bitch. And that's just not the case. Women do that often. You feel me? Yeah. You're gonna notice that a lot. Even outside of that, you know what I mean? You're gonna notice when you're actually physically attractive, the more judgmental motherfuckers gonna be towards you. And the more unattractive you is, the more support you gonna have. The more motherfuckers gonna pump your nuts or pump your vagina. I mean, it's the reason why they doing that. And I'm gonna leave it to you to figure it out. Alright, gang, moving on. So another thing that you're gonna notice being a physically attractive young man is that beauty's in the eye of the beholder and looks being objective, straight sheet of shit. I'm gonna break it down like this. Attraction has 3 brackets really. You know what I mean? Unattractive, average, attractive. Within those 3 brackets, you got levels within them shits. Now I like to call it the 7 up boys. Cause once you reach that bracket of 7 and up, that's 7, 8, 9, cause we stop at 10 cause ain't nobody perfect. But once you get up to 7, 8, 9, gang, you have officially reached the brackets of physical attraction. You know what I mean? And I even jump out on a ledge and say this. I would really put the bracket, the line at 8 and up. Gang, when you 8, 9, gang, you're universally attractive. You know what I mean? And if you don't believe me, then I want you to go look at something called a golden ratio. It has basically ordains a person being physically attractive. Facial symmetry. You know what I mean? Globally, there's things that is praised as far as being admired, as far as physical attractiveness. High cheekbones, facial structure, smooth skin, beautiful eyes, curly hair, tall. You know what I mean? Things like that, that shit is globally recognized and globally praised. You know what I mean? Gang, even in my own self, right? You know that you're universally attractive when you can pull all different races of women. Like I. And like many of y'all out there. When you can do that, gang, you have officially broken the objective bullshit right there. Because saying that beauty's in the eye of the beholder is cap. It's in the eye of all of us, gang. We are literally embedded in, it's DNA encoded in us to know what physically attractive is, especially when it's on a high level. Perfect example. Kim Kardashian may not be your first cup of tea or whatever, but you's a lie before God if you say she's not attractive. You know what I mean? Once you reach that attractive level, a certain level, you can't take it away from them. It's like taking a hood nigga out the hood. You can take the hood nigga out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the nigga. You feel me? Just like with physically attractive, especially when it's already established on that level. And I'm talking about 8s and up. You feel me? At 7, you physically attractive, you in the level of physical attractive being a 7. But when you are 8 and 9, gang, that shit is subjective. You know what I mean? And you gonna know that based off the type of women that you can attract globally. Because I've literally pulled and talked to all different races of women. You know what I mean? I've had all different races of women try to holler at me, say I was fine. What does that mean? That shit sound like some subjective ass shit to me. I feel like looks only become objective when you swimming in that bottom half. You know what I mean? 7, 6, and on down. That's when it become objective. But once somebody's already at 8 or 9, bro, and they already have that golden ratio shit established, bro, you can't take it from them, game, unless you a hater. Real talk. Kim Kardashian may not be your cup of tea, But you can't say she ugly. Just like you can't say Whoopi Goldberg's a bad bitch. You a lie before God. You know what I mean? And the last thing that you're gonna notice being a physically attractive young man is...
Hold up now, gang. You already know what time it is. Go ahead and hit that like, comment, share, and subscribe. And be sure to go ahead and tap that bell so you can get all the notifications for all the hot content I drop. Y'all know what it is. Let's jump back into this topic where we leave off at.
How dangerous that shit is, gang. Real talk. And how much you gotta look over your back and watch over your back and constantly motherfucking expect the worst out of motherfuckers. Real talk, gang. It's dangerous being a physically attractive person. Men and women. Look at the Selena shit. Look at Marilyn Monroe. Look at a bunch of motherfuckers like that, bro. Being physically attractive, it ain't really what you want. A lot of motherfuckers, you know what I mean? It's your boy, Pretty Boy GQ, Supreme TV, and we out.